Let's talk about the Pittsburgh Steelers. This team has had a very busy offseason so far. We haven't even hit the NFL draft just yet. I want to talk about my favorite move by this team. We're going to be covering every move that the team has made in free agency so far. But the best move this team has made is by going out there and getting Isaac Seumalo, one of the best run guards in all of football. And this is something this team desperately needed. You got James Daniels in last year free agency. And then you come back and you backdoor it with getting Isaac Seumalo. That's going to help out. Both of your guards now are going to be good run guards for this team. And they're going to be good passing guards as well. James Daniels, when his motor is on, he's a very good guard. And then you pair him up with Isaac, who played a key instrumental role to why the Philadelphia Eagles had such a good run game last season and was also a key pass protector for Jalen Hurts. He's going to come in and be a great plug-and-play guard for this Pittsburgh Steelers team. They still need to address tackle. I expect them to do that in the NFL draft. But right now, this offensive line is better than what it was before the offseason started. And it got better as the season progressed. On the back end of the season, they were able to run the football more with Najee Harris and crew. And this offensive line has to continue to get better if they want to see Kenny Pickett play to his full potential. Another move this team made was going out there and getting Cole Holcomb, linebacker from the Washington Commanders. This is a key move for this team. Didn't have the best season last season, dealt with some injuries, but in 2021, 142 combined tackles, 2 interceptions, and he's an amazing run stopper. He isn't going to go out there and get the high interception numbers. He's not the best pass coverage linebacker. He isn't horrible, but he's not the best. He's going to stop the run. He's going to plug up those gaps, something that the Pittsburgh Steelers defense desperately need. You have a good defensive line with Cameron Hayward, and you have the good guys off the edge in Alex Highsmith and TJ Watt, but they need guys that can go out there, cover tight ends in space, and that's something that Cole can do, just not on a consistent basis, but they desperately need a guy that's not going to be afraid of contact, and that's something that Cole desperately can give this team in the best way possible. You look at what this defense was weak at last year and what their biggest weaknesses were guys like Devin Bush that was afraid of contact, that would get there and would not be able to tackle at the first point of attack. Cole can come out there and he can give you that. So can a Landon Roberts. He's another guy that they've gotten in free agency as well. He's a former linebacker for the New England Patriots and for the Miami Dolphins. He's not a star-studded linebacker, but he's a good tackler and he's going to give you what you need, and he's a good veteran to have. Good in coverage and good in tackling as well. And that's going to be your 1-2 punch at the linebacking position for the Pittsburgh Steelers moving forward. So you move off of Miles Jack and Devin Bush and you bring both of those guys in. That's going to be key movements for the Pittsburgh Steelers moving forward. And I expect for their run defense to be even better than it was last year with these two guys plugging up the middle of the defense. You also bring in Patrick Peterson, good veteran corner. I understand the age. A lot of people say that he's washed. He's not the same corner. He is not the same corner that he was with the Arizona Cardinals, but he was still a good corner last year with the Minnesota Vikings. Had 5 interceptions, and you guys know me. Just because you have high interception numbers does not mean you were a good corner. He was good in man coverage, and he was good in press man coverage. That is something the Pittsburgh Steelers have been doing for years now. They did lose Cameron Sutton, good corner, but he was just a number 2 corner in the NFL. He would do tremendous things with the Detroit Lions, but I believe Patrick Peterson is a better fit for this team right now. He's not going to be the answer long term. I think a lot of people know and understand that, but he's going to be a good guy to be a 1 to 2 year rental, and for the contract that he has, that's amazing. So if Patrick Peterson can just play on the same level that he was last year with the Minnesota Vikings, and down the stretch he played even better, I think the Pittsburgh Steelers have something special going on in that secondary with him and Minkah Fitzpatrick. Not saying that they're going to be a top tier secondary in the NFL, but you have 2 good core pieces there. Minkah Fitzpatrick is the best safety in football, and you're bringing in a good veteran corner in Patrick Peterson. I like that. They still need to target the secondary because after Patrick Peterson, there's a lot of question marks. You have Arthur Mollett back there and James Pierre. I expect for them to draft a corner in the 1st or 2nd round. I really expect for them to address tackle in the 1st round. But if a guy like Joey Porter Jr. was to slide down to them, that would be a dream situation. His dad played for this team, and he was a beast at the linebacking position. You come in and you bring in Joey Porter Jr. He will fit this team and fit this scheme immediately. And that is something that the Pittsburgh Steelers desperately need, is secondary help behind Patrick Peterson. Another thing with the Pittsburgh Steelers, they recently just made a trade to go out there and get Allen Robinson. I see a lot of people are hyped up for this move. They love this move because of what he's done in years past. He's a good wide receiver. He had 1,000 yards a couple seasons ago with the Chicago Bears, and with the lack of quarterback play, that was impressive. but in the last 2 years hasn't been so hot, and he's dealt with injuries. Last year, he only had 339 receiving yards and 3 touchdowns. Now, I understand he dealt with a beat-up Matthew Stafford and Baker Mayfield coming in. That's true, but he was supposed to be that 1B to Cooper Kupp's 1A on that Los Angeles Rams team. And I saw some plays that I didn't like from Allen Robinson to where he gave up on routes and he didn't look all in. I understand that it was a losing team, but you got to give your effort in. I like the move for the Pittsburgh Steelers for the simple fact you didn't give up a high round pick. You gave up a 7th-round pick for him. You basically gave up little to nothing to get him. And the Los Angeles Rams are trying to free some cap. So the contract isn't horrible, but do not expect for Allen Robinson to come out here and become the #1 wide receiver on this team when they have guys like Deontay Johnson and a young, upcoming, rising #1 wide receiver in George Pickens. I expect George Pickens to be the #1 receiving target on this team next season. I expect for Pat Freiermuth to continue to have good progression. He's been the guy that's been dealing with injuries when it comes to concussions, but when he's on the field, he's a very good receiving tight end for this team. My only concern with the Pittsburgh Steelers, you're bringing back Matt Canada, and he's a horrible offensive coordinator. I know that players love him. They speak highly of him. But just with the product on the field for the last couple of years, it hasn't worked out. So hopefully Matt Canada play calling can get better. We will see. But the moves that the Pittsburgh Steelers have made have been very impressive to me and been very solid, because this is a Pittsburgh Steelers team that usually, as a franchise, they're very conservative in free agency. They don't spend a lot of money. They didn't spend a lot of money this offseason, but they made some key moves that they desperately needed, and they added to their roster. So we'll see what they do in a couple of days in the NFL draft. But this team getting Allen Robinson is a good move, not over the top. I expect for him to have over 400 yards receiving that season, but expect for guys like George Pickens and Deontay Johnson to still get theirs in, while Allen Robinson is just a veteran on the team. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. If you like the video, hit the like button. How do you feel about the Pittsburgh Steelers free agency? And do you think this team will continue to make good moves heading up to the NFL draft? Most importantly, we want each and every last one, guys, stay safe, stay positive. Thanks for watching the video, guys. Peace.